got you, DP.
Destined for greatness, my name is written in stars, and I will give everything, all that I have to the cause. Fight against evil, run through the pain, battle it all, this is more than a game. I am a lion and I can't be tamed, it's how it was made, it's ice in my veins, run through it all. No matter the odds, I will answer a call, the enemy knocks on the door. Even the greatest among us will fall, but the greatest will get back up. So I won't back down and I won't give up, and I will act now and I will stand up. They know that I'm here for it all. Rise up, no matter what's in my way. Rise up, I will do what it takes. I will keep on fighting. I'll rise through it all. Rise up, no matter what's in my way. Rise up, I will do what it takes.
No matter what it is you need, you'll find it at your local Par-Mar store. From gas to grocery, snacks, and everything else you always seem to run out of, Par-Mar stores has it. Need more savings? Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar Rewards Card. You won't only see our stores in your neighborhoods, you'll see us in your neighborhoods too. We are proud to be in your town and proud to be a part of the community. Come see us at Par-Mar stores, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Wilson Martino Dental. Did you know that 95% of our dentists have graduated from WVU? And many former players and WVU coaches trust Wilson Martino Dental with their oral health. The Mountaineers and Wilson Martino Dental. Yeah, we do that.
All right, and welcome to Mountaineer Hardcourt Legends pregame. Man, I am jacked up tonight because this is great. And we have some great, as usual, some great legends. And for the first time this year, we have Jarrod West. Jarrod, of course, was part of that 1997-98 Sweet 16 team, and as a guard there, man, he just did so many good things. I remember watching you. That's how old I am. The only one, though, that's really good about this, though, is that Tim Kearney's older than I am. Okay, so he's actually been watching longer. But I tell you what, with you, DP, you're in my time with Jarrod, man. I watched you, and I was a big old fan of you. Always smiling, but you always played hard. You always played tough, and you always played mean. And, of course, you were from, let's see if I get this right, Natchez, Mississippi. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing great. Thanks for the opportunity to be here. Always good to see some old WVU alum and to talk basketball. So I'm in heaven right now with this opportunity.
I'm the oldest.
That's right, too. You are the oldest, but you know what? We actually have you in our promos, man, scoring that winning shot against Virginia Tech with Ronnie there. That you had
Ron's still pissed off about
I know. You know what I said? I'm going to give you his glory shot, baby. right there, Virginia Tech. And, of course, Darryl Prue, our resident coach. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How y'all doing? Nice to have you on here, Jarrod. You know, Jarrod got that light skin disease, so he had to play a little tougher and harder than the light skin. You know, he got to go out there. Kelly McCourt said hi to everybody. Let's everybody say hi to Miss Kelly McCourt because she's been almost on every show.
Well, okay, but that's a he because you got to be careful of that. Just like
my fault, Kelly.
hey, just so you know, right there we go, Kelly. Hey, don't worry. Dale is a name too, so don't get all. That's why everybody calls him Wolfman. okay?
Yes.
Because I couldn't go by Dale because I wasn't sure if I was a guy or a girl. So there we go with that. But that's good. It's good to have Kelly on there watching, and he says. He's saying, DP, he just calls you out and said, hey, man, what's up, brother? He's not holding anything back on you. So he's like, you're all good. All right.
By the way, and Dale, I haven't brought this up before, but a big shout out for Bobby Joe Smith. I mean, I know he passed away a couple of years ago. I don't know if y'all saw that, but Bobby Joe Smith actually coached me for 2 years in high school, and it's assistant coach there at West Virginia. And he's the reason why I went to West Virginia. So I just want to get a shout out to Bobby Joe Smith.
Bobby Joe Smith. All right. Yeah, man. Just recently, you said?
No, he was on the team back in the late 50s, early 60s. But I just want to give a big shout out to Bobby Joe Smith.
All right. We'll remember that legend for sure. And, before we get started, Jarrod West, let's go. What's happening with you now? And what's going on with your kids, too, man? You got some big things happening.
Yeah, everything's going great. I'm still coaching at Notre Dame High School this year, but not coaching either one of my sons, which is interesting. Transition year. My oldest son, Jared, is playing professionally in Greece right now. And my youngest son, Jaden, just committed to play at Fairmont State next year. So, me and the wife here are spending more time together transition year, trying to figure some things out. But God is good. Everybody's healthy and ready to talk some basketball.
Yeah, God is good, man. I can remember because our boys played together on the same traveling teams at times. And wonderful kids. I love them. Follow them. You follow my boys too, man. It's a cool thing. So, but being that this is basketball, let's get into basketball because some things need to happen tonight, and the Mountaineers have to have a victory. But before we get started, I thought this was an interesting quote from the Bear, man. Let's check it out here. What he had to say here, honestly, with hugs, man. He said, again here, watch this video. Look at that. That is beautiful, man. He said, today's players don't play the right way because they don't play on the blacktop with older guys. You had to take a bad shot. You wouldn't play defense, wouldn't play hard. You wouldn't get picked. There's nothing worse than sitting out in the hot sun and not being picked. What's the deal? And I'm going to start with you, Jarrod. Not playing on the blacktop. What's he saying?
Hey, he is 100% correct. I'm born in Natchez, Mississippi with 100-degree weather, and you go out there, and if it was 9-9 going to 10, if you gave up a layup, you're going to have to sit on that blacktop, and you won't get picked the rest of the game. But these young guys today, he is 100% correct. Basketball IQ nowadays is not very good. I attribute that to not playing with older guys, and AAU basketball has something to do with that as well. But I totally agree with 100% that quote. These guys just really don't know how to play. They don't understand backdoor. They don't understand spacing. It's just a different day and age. It's just a different day and age. And once again,
I truly agree.
I know everybody has to have a cell phone nowadays, but the cell phone and social media, woo, man, you talking about hurting basketball because Prue will tell you, we used to wake up and go to the park and you stay there for 4 or 5 hours a day and wasn't nothing else to do. You come home when the lights come on and, if you won, you stayed on. If you lost, you got next. That might be 5 or 6 games. You don't want to do that. So, and you don't want to let down the old head that was on your team either because it was probably going to be a confrontation. So these kids, they don't get that. They don't get that nowadays. It's all organized or.
I got a lot to say about this.
Go ahead, Tim. We'll give you a shot.
First of all, they can take their cell phones and shove them up their ass. Number one. Seriously. Sorry, Darryl. You almost fell over.
Right out the window.
I sent a text message to
you.
Dale.
There we go.
No, I'm sorry. I sent a text message to you and Dale about, growing up in Northern Virginia back in the 70s. I went with my older brother, who was 4 years older than me, with all the guys he played basketball with. We traveled into Arlington, to Alexandria, to different places. That's all we did every weekend, on weekdays too. And we played on the courts, and there's so much missing from that, which, I don't see it from the guys now, as far as, having heart to play. They've lost the heart. You know what I mean?
That sounds very interesting.
No accountability in winning and losing either. No accountability.
No, I know.
Bingo.
And like I said, Jared, these cell phones, they can stick them where the sun doesn't shine right now because I'm tired of this crap. I really am.
All right, Tim. Thanks. DP, go ahead. What's your take on the Blacktop?
Man, they're 100% correct. Even when I was coaching at Georgetown, we used to have open runs. We modified it. We just didn't let nobody pick who to be on the team. All the best players weren't on the same team. We had the pros from the Wizards come over and play. And if you didn't play, you didn't come to play, you don't get on the floor. You have to wait, until everybody else get tired. So I used to be in gyms on playgrounds where there's 30 people on the sideline waiting. And if you lose, you're going to have to wait an hour to play again. What I mean? So,
Darryl, did you ever play over at Hayfield?
No, I didn't come to. I stayed at DC.
I stayed at DC. I went there all the time to play at Hayfield off of 495. Yeah. I'll tell you what,
the Metro bus ain't go out that far for us.
Oh, actually, I was 15 years old playing down there. My brother, somebody took a swing at me. My brother, I almost said the F word. My brother took a swing at him, and my dad was up there in the stands, came out of the floor to swing at this guy. It was just that's how I grew up.
Okay.
Well, it gives you some toughness. Gives you some toughness, and then gets you ready for college.
Well, I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm not going to bring up cell phones for the rest of the night because we know what sets off Mr. Kearney over there. Okay. But what I do want to bring up tonight is this. This is for Bob Huggins, and he says you got to find a will to win. If you can't shoot as a team, you better be able to guard. And I'm going to start off with you after this again, Jarrod West, because you were a shooter.
Our darndest not to lose, and I've had teams couldn't make shots. I had teams at Cincinnati couldn't make a shot. For all the tea in China, they couldn't make a shot. But I tell you what they did, boy, they guarded now. And if the other team can't score, then it's okay if you don't score, particularly in light of the fact we got every rebound. But they could rebound. They could guard. To this point anyway, we're not doing that.
Okay, JW, man. What do you say to that with Hugs?
That's a loaded statement right there. I in theory, I understand what he's saying. Definitely have to do a better job defending, rebounding. I think offensively, we have to do a better job of putting people in the proper places to perform. I know he's trying to give them a little freedom with that little motion, but sometimes we gotta, when you run that motion, sometimes the wrong people have the ball and they're making the wrong decisions. I think Trey, Emmett, guys like that have to. Sometimes you gotta run a set to get certain people the balls in certain situations to put them in the best place to succeed. And once again, going back to what we were talking about, there's a different, I hate to say it, there's a different brand of kid going on now. The transfer portal and that type of thing. Hugs is old school. Hugs needs to, 2 or 3 years to grind on you and actually learn how to play that defensive type of scheme that he wants, and not necessarily getting it nowadays with this group that he has right now. There is some legitimacy to what he's saying, but I think offensively we got to do a better job of putting guys in better situations for them to be successful. And sometimes when you take bad shots, it leads to transition situations. And now, as Prue can tell you, in transition, it's hard to match up. You're going to give up some threes. So sometimes bad offense can affect how good or how bad your defense is.
We'll take it over, DP. Go ahead.
I agree with him, but, there are some clips on there where they just don't play defense at all. They don't even do shell defense. When it was one play in the first half where Bell got drived on from the top of the key, and everybody was looking at their man.
Backside guy, two guys were hugging.
They were all looking at that man. It was a 1-2-2 situation. Mind you, he's not supposed to drive right, but he's the center. You know what I mean? Maybe he shouldn't have been out there. But at the same time, all them guys then in the second half, the first place in the second half, Eric Stevenson's not guarding nobody. He's sitting in the paint, and his guy bangs a three. You know what I mean? So, we talked about it last week, Jarrod, that guys missing free throws. So if you're missing free throws, it's okay. Everybody misses free throws, but you got to score. If you're not scoring in the game and you're missing free throws, that's a double whammy, just like what you're saying. If you're not in a set, these guys can't think. So you might have to put them in different sets and control the game different kind of ways instead of being free flowing.
Right.
Like these guys, they don't, if they don't have a shot, they don't look for somebody else to get an open shot. They just try to get theirs. You know what I mean? So, Jarrod has a lot of good points with what he's talking about.
All right, Tim, go ahead and finish up.
Do you really want me to do that?
Well, just keep it short and keep it the F words out.
I'll try to keep it clean. But no, I agree with Jarrod and also Darryl. I mean, and then you also have the guys. I mean, they're on the defensive side. They're throwing up their hands like, "Where's the help?" And no one's there. And as far as the free throw thing, seriously, I go back to the old adage from Gary McPherson, who he was assistant coach up there when I was there.
Coach
You
Matt.
got to get it up to get it in. I mean, that was his old adage, and they need to work on some of the free throws. But this whole thing with the defense, I just don't. With the guys throwing up their hands and basically bitching at each other, that hey, where's the help?
Right.
Yeah, but it looks like last year's team. You know what I mean? That's what last year's team were doing. And like if you watch the clip with Jarrod, he's running all over the place on defense.
Yeah.
He's reading the next play. Nobody's doing that. You know what I mean? Nobody's being a playmaker. They always told my guys, and I've always been told, players make plays. And then nobody on that team is being a player. Make plays. It's on the defensive end, on the offensive end. There's nothing happening.
Well, okay, so let's get into that here and watch this video. And you can see this is video of them making plays. And go ahead and DP, start ahead and talking here. We're going to see at regular speed, and then we'll see it behind at slow motion. But you see they're getting down to Trey Mitchell. Go ahead.
So there was a
nice play.
It was a nice play. They iced it, meaning they didn't want Stevenson to come through the middle. So he got the ball, too much dribbling.
Yep.
And someone cut back door. It's Matthews. He just did a play because just like we talk about our defenders staring at the ball, his man was staring at the ball and he cut back door. He read the play right. Look, he read the play right. So now there's a different play. All right. So he comes off the screen to a down screen. So he screens the ball. It goes to down screen. Now he comes up. They try to switch. Lack of communication. He leaves an open shot for Matthews.
Well, that's what I mean, spreading out the court.
But that's good, right? I mean, that's what they're doing. They're moving it. He didn't dribble it as much as normal.
Yeah, but they don't have that patience to do it all game.
Yeah.
I also think on that first play, that's called, I call that fake hustle. I don't think that was a great. That's something that won't last all the time. There was over dribbling, and then he just happened to go back for a layup. The second shot was a very good play, and I think Emmett has to do a better job of being more aggressive. He can't just be taking 7 shots while guys like Toussaint are taking 9 shots a game. Like, he's got to be more aggressive. I think the coaching staff has to get in his butt a little bit and tell him, hey, we need you to be more aggressive.
No, I think you're right, Jarrod.
You're definitely right.
And look at this final play here with Toussaint coming on down. I just see, it seems to me like there's a lot of guys dribbling and not really going to the basket. I don't know. You tell me. I'm not the legend, so go ahead. Jarrod, you start out with this.
That's another shot that won't last. Dribbling side to side, Toussaint shooting a step back. That's fake luck that won't last the whole game. A lot of these guys have to do a better job of squaring their shoulders on the catch and get downhill. Everything they're doing is side to side. And when you're playing against a team like Kansas, and all the teams in the Big 12, you're going to end up shooting a contested step-back 3, which won't be efficient if you're looking all game. You got to get downhill, play inside out, and that requires you to square your shoulders when you catch the ball and go north and south.
But, I mean, if you replay that video again, Dale, I mean, if you look at the big man, they need to post up. They need to ask for the damn ball. We need to start punching the ball inside to open up the outside.
That's the problem in this game now. They don't do that. They don't. It's not just a WVU thing. That guard from Cleveland, that guard from Kansas State was a guard. He's a point guard. He was ball all over the place. Like Jarrod said, this guy Tucson came
Noel.
off the screen. No, I'm talking about Tucson now. Tucson came off the screen and ran straight to the other team's sideline.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't see the guy rolling. You know what I mean? Then he got the ball. He saw, oh, now it's 1-on-1. He did another 5 dribbles to get his shot off. So it's just like, it's this game. It's no playmakers.
Right.
Those guys are not natural passers. They're all guys that get the ball that want to score.
Tim, I didn't roll it back to you because this is here. Now you can say is what are they doing wrong in your opinion? Which it sounds to me you might do a little bit of repeating, so we'll keep this one short. But you see right there. Go ahead, Timmy.
They passed the ball off the left-hand side. I'm not sure if this is the same video, but the big man he shot, he spread out, asked for the ball.
No, it's not his fault. It made 5 or 6 passes on one side of the floor. It never got to the other side.
Yeah, the passing was bad, but the big guys need to ask.
But he's there, but he's posting up, but the guy's jamming him because his man is sitting right on top, like in his lap. It's the spacing. You know what I mean? Like then Tucson try to throw it.
Put your butt into him and throw up the right hand or the left hand and ask for the ball, and the guards need to hit that hand that he's asking for.
But that's when we played. This is a different. These guys are not passing the ball. You know what I mean? Like,
well, let's hear it. Jay West, go ahead. Jay West.
Well, I think it goes back to the initial question about playing on the blacktop. These guys don't know how to play free flow motion offense. They're used to getting the ball and playing ISO and no space, and they don't know how to cut. They don't know how to go back door. No guard knows how to feed the post. No post player knows how to call for the ball. And I think a lot of that is lost because they didn't play on the blacktop. And once again, these guys are catching the ball and going side to side. Nobody's squaring their shoulder. You don't see the show jab series, show and go. It's all ball screens and just kind of playing free flow, but nobody knows how to play.
I'll get back to 2 weeks ago when I said we were talking about it before was fundamentals, pick and roll, how to set up a proper pick, how to roll and how to block out somebody. It's totally lost.
But just look like with Kansas. Kansas, move the ball. Hey, move the ball, move the ball, move the ball, move the ball, move the ball. It's dribble, 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 dribble. So now I'm in the post. I don't know what side you're gonna go to.
Exactly.
I don't know. So where am I gonna post up at? So I don't know. You're going from one side and the other, one side to. I don't know what you're going to do. You know what I mean? So I post up, then you go to the other side. I'm like, God damn, I got to waste that energy. Then you go to the other side. They dribble. There's no rhyme or reason.
Chemistry, right?
Okay, so Darryl, let's go with this. These are your plays that you said. These are the 4 plays in a row that you want to go ahead and show where there could be better help or effort. Okay, on defense, we're going from offense. We show what's good, what's not so good. Now we're going to defense here against Kansas.
This is the first play of the game for Kansas. Watch this. Gets it. That's the center. Look at everybody. It's the center.
Are you running the Wolf? Because mine is froze.
Yeah, it's the center.
Yeah, running it. Yeah.
Look at everybody. Their back is turned, and Mitchell just let them come down instead of stepping over and taking the charge. Just missed the shot, and I don't know what that was.
Okay.
That's what Jarrod said. It was false defense. That's false defense. He hasn't gotten a tip-out steal like that part of his whole career.
So you're talking about right here, running it, right?
Ole, like a bull. And look at everybody else. Nobody sees it.
Hey, Darryl, my ass would have been on the bench with Catlett.
Yeah, you would have.
Yeah.
And sure. I probably would have said something on the way while you was on your way to the bench.
Yeah.
And this right here, like, no one helps. Like, so you come off a screen and roll. They got mad at the big fella, but I'm mad at
screen.
Yeah, I'm mad at Stevenson. Stevenson's in no man's land. So if you're back on your man, you can't be back behind him. You got to be in front of him so he know to go back. Yeah. Again, Stevenson dies on this play. Look at him. He got no play. Stevenson. He don't know who he got.
Yeah, he's lost.
He's lost. That's the
now, Prue, do you think that has something to do with So you're looking on that floor right now, and you got 4 kids on the floor. All 5 kids are new. And they're playing in this hug system where you're up the line. I mean, what do you think about chemistry from that standpoint?
We talked about that from the beginning. I think he's just a bad defender.
I agree. And like you said, shield drill principles. Nobody was in the right place.
Right.
No help
and you know they doing that. You know what I mean? It's not a question of them not doing defense. That's like, okay, what the problem is, there's nobody behind them that's going to make them sit.
Yep.
Nobody's pushing them. All these guys are, they're coming from other places. They don't have that. I'm all right, 2-3 years in. I'm gonna do this, or I can go somewhere next year if they don't like it. I'm gonna go somewhere next year if I don't like it.
Hey guys, he hit a 30-foot bank shot. Okay.
But you can't score if you don't shoot the ball.
Well, I understand that, but basically.
But that's just.
But he was wide open. Also.
Yeah.
Okay.
A bank shot, 30 feet.
But
we got to keep this moving on, though, fellas. We got to keep moving on.
Another shot later on.
Okay, so Stevenson, 4 for 20. I had video, but there's no point. I mean, I'm not going to go ahead and do that to that guy. He's already down there. But James West, how does he get out of it, man? How does he get out of it? Because he's got talent, and when he's on, he's on.
I think last game, I actually like Stevenson. He has his mechanics are good. I think last game he was so excited and he took 4 or 5 bad shots. Sometimes your shot selection has way more to do about if you're making and missing shots. He just took 4 or 5 bad shots, trying to speed things up. I wouldn't be worried about his 4 for 20 after one game because mechanically he's sound. He just has to do a better job of taking better shots than he did last game.
Okay. What do you think, Tim? Real quick, go ahead. Give me your thoughts on Stevenson.
No, as long as he keeps his head, between shoulders and not get hot-headed. And he's a smooth player. I like the way he plays. But at the same time, as and Darryl said as well as Jarrod, I mean, defensive-wise, you got to pick it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and take it now to Baylor. And obviously, we got the big story of Jalen Bridges coming back. And I listened to him on, I think it was the other podcast. I'm going to screw this up. The good one that they have. What's a good podcast out there? John Flowers is on there.
With Flo and KJ.
So John asked a question in the chat. So he asked a question to Jarrod.
I didn't see it. Where?
He said, Jarrod, what you think Bridges is going to do on his tonight, taking on WVU? That's what he said.
Typical Flo trying to stir the pot. Hey,
right off the bat.
Go ahead. That's the question. That's what.
Go ahead.
That's to be known. It can go a lot of different ways. He can get going early, or he can struggle early, and the crowd gets on his back. It's funny, Jalen, and I love Jalen. I've known Jalen since he was a little kid. I know him leaving and some of the things he said ruffled feathers for a lot of people, and I can see how they would be upset. He's basically gone from Baylor, from WVU, and he's in the same role as a 4-man who sets screens and he plays off of the guards. He was in that same role at WVU. So Jalen has to do a better job of being more aggressive, more confident. Same thing like we just saw WVU dribbling side to side. He has to do a better job of catching the ball, facing up to the basket, and showing a skill set.
Is that okay? See it now.
You saw what he said.
They're playing at home, right?
He said no. What do you think he would do?
That's you right there. He said no.
No.
Hey, Flo, that's my man.
No, seriously.
That's my man, bro.
This game's being played at home, right?
What's that?
This game's at home, right?
It's home for WVU, but it's also
home. You don't think that every time Jalen handles that ball, you don't think he's going to get booed?
Oh, he's going to get booed. Yeah, he's definitely going to get booed.
Well, I would say this, and I'm going to go with the fine sportsmanship thing. He is a WVU letterman. And I think that whether his decision was right or wrong, it was his decision. And in today's day and age, you can't fault anyone. It wasn't a good season last year. There wasn't a lot of hope going on. But I will say this. He did say he was a shooting guard all of his career, and it seems like he's in the same role as he was at WVU that you said, Jarrod. So that's interesting enough. But let's go ahead and let's move this on. So I have some video here that I want to show you, and it is from Baylor, and they are scoring 81 points per game. And if you go ahead and look at this, okay, Hug says it all starts with ball screen. Let's go with you, DP. Start us off with ball screens and tell us about this Baylor offense.
Man, they're getting up 30 attempts from the 3-point line.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot of attempts. They got those 3 guards, and all the bigs are doing is screening. They're just putting pressure on you. They'll try to get in the lane to throw it back out. Then when they miss, the 2 bigs do what? They kill the boards. So they average 31 points in the paint, and that's a lot of offensive rebounds. It's not like they're throwing it down for somebody to score. They either get in the lane on drives, just like that. They shooting threes, or the guy is they missing the shots. They're getting offensive rebounds. So, the ball screens, we've been having trouble all year. And them guys are going right. So we got to stop them from going right. Got to do some team defense, and hopefully we can contain them a little bit.
Yeah, what about you, Jarrod?
I think they have 3. Well, actually, they have 4 or 5 pretty good guards and 3 exceptional guards, and everything is off the ball screens. I think their ball screens create, they're making 2 people occupy the ball, which allows their bigs to have free runs for offensive rebounds. I think the best thing that Jalen Bridges does, he moves well without the ball. So when you have 3 good guards on the floor, he gets a lot of his points cutting back door, offense rebounds, and stickbacks. Honestly, they're missing Jonathan. I don't want to mispronounce his last name. If they had him, because he provided so much energy defensively for him, and he was a big lob threat. They're missing kind of a lob threat this year, which is actually cost them a little bit, and that's probably why they're 0-3 so far in the Big 12. But they got 3 guards that can all put 20 up on you on any given night. So W has their hands full because all 3 of those guys are very skilled.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. What about you, Tim?
No, Dave, I agree. They've got 3 guards that are very strong. Overall, the guards are averaging overall 48 points based off the 80 points per game. They've got some good strength on the bench, which I think we do as well, but it depends on how we match up on that. Rebounding, they're over the opponents that they've gone up against. They're out rebounding everybody, so we need to hit the boards. But also we need to, with the 3 guard strength that they have, how we match up with that. That's my biggest concern with what we have, as far as coming in.
The funny thing about all this, Bridges would have been great on this team. With this team they got now, he'd have been great on this
don't stick it in there. You don't have to put the knife in the back, DP.
he'd have been great on this team. No, it's just the truth. He would have been great on this one.
Yeah, I hear you there. Let's take a look. Go ahead, Tim. Still just say.
No, I'm really counting on as far as Matthew's having a strong game, as well as far as Jimmy Bell. He's really going to have to step up his game against Baylor because there's a big in there. He's like 250, so those 2 will be muscling it out.
Yep, big Thamba. I'll tell you what, I watched him play. He can hit 3s too now down in the way. That's pretty impressive. But let's take a look here at this offensive Kansas State. And boy, I tell you, this game was a wild game. And, Baylor's lost some really close games. Now, Iowa State took it to them a little bit. But between Kansas State and, of course, the last game at TCU, that was a 1-pointer. They played some really close games. They're ready just to be on the edge and turn it. So let's take a look here how K-State attacked them. And DP, start it out, brother.
It's that little point guard.
Yep, Noel.
Yeah, look at him. He's gonna get it again. Look, he gets it. Nobody's on the help side. The guy comes to help. The guy cuts back door. Just playing, flowing with the flow of the offense. Guys just not standing around like Jarrod said earlier. What somebody said earlier. guys are moving. Like we don't have guys that make those kind of plays. Like look at the pass. That's just playing together. Like playing with each other, just getting off the ball. Pick and roll, get off of it, give it to somebody else, make a play. We're not doing that. So we get the ball, we get a screen. We think that person has to make the play. This the pass leading to the play. He gets off the ball, one-on-one isolation, don't have it. He sees something else. We don't have guys that's doing that.
Well, that's Keontae Johnson there. So
yeah, but
he's pretty good.
But that's what we want. Mitchell has some of that kind of ability to do that. Not Mitchell, but Matthews.
Emmett.
Emmett Matthews. But it was a play against Kansas where he drove baseline, and in the beginning of the year he would dunk it.
Yep.
This year he kind of clammed up on this play. It was one of the first couple plays in the second half. And you see how Johnson attacked the rim. He just kept going. Sometimes it's he's slight of build, but those guys got to go in there hard. Like the Big 12 is not an easy thing. Just like when Jarrod played in the Big East, Like that's tough. Like this is the new Big East right now, the Big 12. Like Baylor is 0-3, but they're a really good team. They're a couple of points from not being 0-3, just like WVU but before the last game. There was 6 points from not being, 0-2 before the last game, and in both games somebody got attacked. You know what I mean? So that you lose momentum.
Yeah, I got to show this play here because I don't want to run out of time before we show this, but this is an excellent example of where I think Baylor is. I think they're a decent team, a good team, but they could be very good. But watch this here because they're giving great effort, and I want to hear all three of you guys what you have to say about this play. It's pretty impressive. You can see him moving the ball around, but watch Baylor's defense. And this is K-State, of course, again.
Great scramble drill right there. All 5 people attached on a string.
But that's it. Man, they busted their hump, right? They busted their hump, did all this. And then, sometimes in the field of sports, things average out. They've had incredible years the last few years. And you got to wonder sometimes that ball used to bounce for us in football. If the ball dropped to the ground, it would bounce back up in your hands. But when it went against you, man, it would bounce to the other team. Yeah. I don't know. Baylor got something going on.
That's a 45-foot shot right there.
But that wasn't on a second pass. That was on a 4th or 5th pass. There's a 30-foot shot. The one about Stevenson was on the first pass. He was just standing there. You know what I mean? He wasn't.
No, I wasn't drawing that. I was trying to draw that conclusion.
But that's the difference. We don't see WVU doing that. It's always somebody dying and, like you said earlier, pointing at the other guy. That's what they did last year, or putting their hands up, or doing that. Like they just scrambled. He hit the shot. They kept it moving. Okay, that was a good shot. That was a good shot. Yeah, that was a good shot. That we played good defense. If you playing good defense, somebody make a good shot, that's totally different from not, I don't care if a guy throws it up or whatever, it goes in. If you're not playing good defense, you're not playing good defense.
Yeah. Right. That shot that he threw up there is like somebody, and put it into your perspective, Dale, is a 60 yard field goal. Basically, that's what he threw this damn thing up. All right.
Well, I got a little history on.
Well, that wasn't me doing that. I'll tell you that.
So I got a little history on Noel. He played with the players in AAU, high level EYBL team. He's been doing that all his career. I'm on a group chat with his coach, and I was talking about him. He's like, and he showed me a video. Jump ball. He gets the ball. He takes 2 dribbles, shoots it. So he's been doing that his whole career. So he kind of went under the radar because, he's a smaller guy.
Right.
And then, he started mature as a player. Now he's throwing the ball to people, boom, boom, boom. That shot he probably had to take because it's a shot clock. Because, you know what I mean? But,
okay.
He's developed. You know what I mean? He's developed to a good one.
Here's the question, Jarrod. I'm going to ask you first. Are you taking, Keontae Johnson from Kansas State and Marquise Noel, or are you taking Jalen Wilson from Kansas and Grady Dick?
Whoo, that's a tough one.
Because that's what I've seen so far in the Big 12, and I'm like, whoa.
And to be honest with you, if you're looking at just skill set, Keontae and Noel might be more skilled, especially than Wilson. But Grady is more of a spot shooter. But if you're just looking at overall culture and a team,
Grady,
you got
Grady a freshman.
But I mean, Grady can shoot. He can shoot that ball.
I'll tell you what, guys.
You're a freshman at 6'9".
Grady did. That guy's unconscious, man.
He's a freshman.
Right.
Hey, good news. He'll be gone next year.
I hope so. Johnson, a grown man. Johnson about 24.
Right. But the only difference is, and Prue, like, I can, as a coach, I can kind of scheme Grady out a little bit because he's not going to put the ball on the floor. Just, you got to stay at home, no help. With Noel, with Johnson, both of those guys, they can catch and shoot, but they also can put the ball on the floor.
But Noel's different. Noel can make a bad team good.
Yeah.
Because of all the things. He can get guys easy shots. He can make shots. Yeah. So he's different from those. Johnson,
now, Grady, you put
Johnson,
a good point on the floor. Yeah. Grady, now Grady's going to get 25 because he's got a good point guard who's going to draw. But, like,
Noel, Grady has one of the quickest releases I've ever seen.
Out the bounce.
Yeah. I think Grady has one of the quickest releases I've ever seen.
So basically, nobody's saying you take either or.
Yeah, you wouldn't go wrong with either or.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah. Okay, excellent choice. Very good. Now let's talk about the offensive keys. Let's get back here because we didn't talk about. Well, I'll say that for the defensive keys. Offensive keys, I see you got to score transition for this Mountaineer team. You got to limit turnovers, man. It's just the same thing. If you turn it over, you can't score. If you can't get in there, if you can't rebound in there, you can't get the free throws. If you can't get the free throws, you can't score. I mean, it continues and goes. Jay West, go ahead. Talk about it.
I think the turnovers go hand in hand with what I was saying earlier. Sometimes when you run an emotion offense, free-flowing offense, and guys really don't know their roles or what we're trying to get accomplished, they're just kind of playing free, it leads to bad turnovers or bad shot selection. I think Trey Mitchell and Emmett have to be way more aggressive. I think that both of those guys only getting 9-10 shots a game. Like, every night we came to the game, we knew Damian was going to get his 14 to 15 shots. We knew Greg Jones was going to get his 10 to 12 shots.
How many shots did he get?
His 12 to 14. I mean, sometimes
14 and 15. I'm calling coach because I only got 7.
Trust me, Prue, I only got my 6 shots. But we knew who were going to get there was a pecking order. With it, I think sometimes when you give guys so much free, Stevenson's obviously getting his shots, but besides that, I think Trey should be getting 12 to 13 shots. Emmett's got to get 10 shots. I love Toussaint. I love the grittiness he brings, but he can't be getting 10 to 11 shots. And I think when that happens, now you find yourself, and it leads to bad turnovers and bad spacing. I think sometimes you got to run a set where you got first option, second option, and then everybody else plays off of that. And I don't think we do that enough, to be honest with you.
Set plays, you're saying set plays.
I mean, sometimes I think you can run a set play to get first option, second option, and if either one of those don't work, then you go into a motion. Then after that, whoever gets the shot. But I think we come down and you seeing that 4 out 1 in weave, we're playing it with no purpose. Nobody knows what we're trying to get accomplished, and it leads to a step back 3, and we just wasted 25 seconds because we're playing the ball with no purpose. Whereas other teams, they know where the ball is going, who's getting it, and as a result, they get a good shot. K-State.
I agree. I agree. But I think between Toussaint, coming off the bench, if he starts tonight, I'm not sure. But the other one is Wilson. Between the two of them, they just need to be under control. I think that's key to the game tonight with the guards we have to go against Baylor.
Yeah, but they're not playmakers. They're just like Jared said, that guys just, if it doesn't work, I don't think Wilson has brought the ball up court not one time this year, has he?
Right.
Okay. Jay West, what does it take to be a playmaker in basketball?
Well, first of all, you got to have a basketball IQ. You got to understand the game. You got to understand where we're trying to get the ball to, who needs the ball, where, when, how. And you got to think the game as a quarterback, as a coach. When you see our guys pass, they're normally a second or 2 seconds late because they might be wired to score or wired to be aggressive compared to wired to score from a team perspective. If I'm the point guard at WVU, I know Stevens is probably option 1, Mitchell is option 2, M is option 3, and after that, then whoever gets it, but we don't have a purpose or a plan sometimes. I think if there's too much freedom. Now, vice versa. You look at a team like Baylor, they have skilled basketball players. So they can play that kind of way because those 3 guards all can play and they have a high basketball IQ. Each team isn't built like that. We don't have that personnel to where, go back to when they won a national championship. They had 3 to 4 skilled basketball players who you can feed off of. We don't have that. And when you don't have that, we got to go first option, second option, third option, and everybody else falls in line. And I can say that because guess what? As much as I may have thought I was the first or second option, I knew D.O. was first option, G. Jones second option, AP was third option. And then whatever scraps that me and Brent Solheim get, hey, it is what it is. But everybody knew their role. This team here, we got to find our identity, find our role. And I think we'll look a lot better if we do that.
Okay, real quick, fellas, we got to name off a few sponsors here. And Country Roads Trust is West Virginia's name, image, and likeness team. That's right here, baby. Country Roads Trust, changing the game for WVU student athletes. Danny Cabot, Toyota World, Shop the World, your Toyota dealer in Fairmont, West Virginia. And, of course, we have Wilson Martino Dental, who's your smile is their smile and perfection. And you gotta love the Martino family. You just love them there. And, of course, Parmar Stores. 5 different states, over 200 plus stores. If there's not one near you now, there will be one soon. Moving to the defensive keys, we didn't talk about Flagler, the guard, or George, who's actually second in the NCAA. They're both averaging 17 points per game. Defensively, Tim Kearney, I'm going to ask you, what do you got to do to stop this 3-guard team with 2 forwards and a guy who kind of, Jalen Bridges, he can move around a little bit?
Well, like I said before, I mean, there's going to be some rotation in there with what we have as far as, Toussaint and what maybe Wilson can bring in there. I mean, what have we heard anything in the status of Johnson?
Edie.
I think Keaty's still. I don't think so. That gets into protocol, and if he was just doing a little bit the other day, that's not good. That's not near what he's got to do.
Yeah. So we'll see. Like I said, I think the biggest thing is going to be the matchup on the guard side and the bench strength that they have, that Baylor has, and if we can match them on the bench strength.
DP, they're a very good rebounding team, usually out-rebounding teams, offensively rebounding team especially, getting those second, third chance points. What's the Mountaineers got to do, man?
They had another clip on it. You didn't put it on. I got Matthews and Mitchell just stand around a lot. They don't go in there and jump in there and get rebounds. We can say box out and this and that. Sometimes you just got to go get it. I think, Jay Flo was a go-getter. You go get the rebound. You know what I mean?
I agree.
It was a play. I think it was that play where he threw it over the top. The guy missed the shot, and everybody just stood around and watched. Then they tried to go, then it was too late. I think, this team, Baylor, they play like athletes. So they always moving. You know what I mean? They always moving with a purpose. So if they don't get a shot, the big guy goes to the rim, and Bridges is sneaking it in the air because he knows guys not boxing them out. It's easy to run from the 3-point line to find an open spot to get rebounds because people fall asleep and turn around and watch the ball. And that's what's going to happen because they're going to hit the boards. Them guys are going to shoot it.
That's what pissed me off the last few years about this team is that everyone's standing around.
Yeah, somebody's waiting for somebody else to make a play.
I understand that. I totally agree.
Yeah, and that's the whole problem with the team, especially on defense, and sometimes on offense. They're waiting for somebody to do something instead of just doing it. You know what I mean? Like you gotta go get it. I mean, like Mitchell, you're 6'9". You know what I mean? The ball right there. Go. I didn't see him jump in traffic to go snatch a rebound. You know what I mean? Like, come on, Matthews flying there like he doing them dunks to get some. You know what I mean? Like y'all are the 3 guys in the front line. Dale, he can battle, he can help. Then when they throw it to his man, or he helps to try to block somebody else's shot, somebody else got to step in there. I love having centers that like to block shots. That's a rebound for me because I get him out of the way. You know what I mean? So it's the guys got to do something.
Okay, so JW, instead of talking about the defense, what do the Mountaineers got to do now to put it all together? In your opinion, your coach, you know what you want them to do. What do you want to see out of them tonight to be successful?
Well, and a lot of that's going to go back to how they play defense. Against a team like Baylor, it has to be 5 people playing the ball. Everybody has to be on the string because they do so much ball screen action. They always occupy 1.5 to 2 people with their ball screen, which means the backside help has to pinch a little bit on the roll man and then close out hard on shooters. So it has to be 5 against 1. It's not going to be a one-on-one thing for the most part. Now, in ISOs, yes, but for the most part, everybody has to be on the string. Everybody has to communicate. You can't be hugging on the backside. Obviously, we have to box out. And offensively, we're going to have to find a way to score 75 to 80 points. Baylor's going to score 75 to 80 points, however you slice the pie. So offensively, we're going to have to run. We're going to have to run our offense, get the right people the ball. We got to make some shots. We got to execute, and that's what it's going to come down to. Basketball is a make and miss sport. Whoever shots going to win. So we got to execute, take good shots, play good defense.
Excellent drop in knowledge tonight. I'm totally love what you've been saying. Timmy, what do you got to say, man? Finish it up.
You probably won't like what I'm going to say, but
I don't think I've liked anything you said tonight because you've been all negative. Usually you're positive.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, the guards have got to be, like Jarrod said, we've got to stop the guards. I mean, they're at 80 points they average per game, they're almost up to 50 points for the guards. So it depends on the matchup and how our guards play against them. And on the inside, we got to be more physical. And I don't care if it's like the old days back in the 80 to 84 when I played. Pop somebody in the back of the head, man. Just lighten it up a little bit. I'm sorry, guys, but it is what it is.
You're in a bad mood today. That's what it is.
He's trying to get somebody suspended.
No, I've had a rough day at work today, but I'm really pissed off right now. And
hey, Brent Solheim would love
we
you.
want to
That
win.
was one of his favorite things.
No,
we have been on
throw
here.
it out on the court. That's how I played when I was out there. You threw it out on the court. You played for the fans. You played for West Virginia, and that's what we're all about.
The biggest thing with all of it is, you know what I mean? Like, they all came from different places, and they all wasn't high-level recruits. Baylor got high-level recruits. Kansas got high-level recruits. Kansas State, they had a couple, and they play like it. And at the end of the day, everybody got their baggage. And I think the baggage is, now you got some adversity starting to show. So now you got to fight through all that, to do. You got to rebound, no open looks, get back on defense. Don't let your guys drive to the basket. And all this showed up against teams that wasn't, the Navies of the world, that wasn't that good. Line driving on these guys. And, so now you're playing against guys that's a foot taller and more athletic and can shoot a little bit. So, it's a double whammy. So then play together, play on both ends. The coaches are begging them. They're begging them to play. And the coach should not beg them to play hard. They shouldn't beg them to rotate hard. They shouldn't beg them to, all right, we run the play in the offense. And I'm sorry, they run the offense in practice. All of a sudden now you get in the game, you don't know what to do. That's the players got to step up. Players make plays. At the end of the day, the players got, I don't want to curse like Tim did, but players got to get them out there, got to get their head out there and just keep it going. You know what I mean? Like,
do. All right. I got you, man. All right. So
I didn't cuss that bad.
No, you didn't. You're fine. Listen, so what I'm going to take on this, because I'm the novice here, is the Mountaineers on offense, they need to pass the ball more and move it around with some poignancy where it's going, to know where the ball is going to go so they can score. And on defense, they need to move around a little bit more, need to hustle. Am I getting this right? Get in there, get more involved in the paint, be there for the rebounds. Timmy said physicality. Is that about what this team needs to do to turn around? Anything else you want to?
Stay in front and contest the shots. Putting a hand up is not contesting the shot. Jump at the shot. Try to block it.
And of course, thanks. What about the 30 attempts here for the three pointers? Because that's what Kansas did. And then they came out 16.
I'll tell you right now, Darryl, the guys need to be schooled on how to block a shot. you don't drop your hand. You drop your hand, you're getting called for a foul.
All right.
Straight up.
Excellent job. Good job, Timmy. Thank you, Tim. Kearney, Darryl Prue. Jay West, you going to return, man? You going to come back?
Listen, whenever I'm free, I'm here. I can do this all day.
He got to coach his team to a championship this year.
I know, I hear that, but I'm telling you, you're invited anytime you want back.
Anytime.
And just so you know, Jay Flo, you come on, man. Anytime you want to come on.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
We'll let him come on.
Far away from here.
All right, guys. Hey, great job. Thank you so much. And we are out of here. And this is for our sponsors.
Destined for greatness. My name is written in stars, and I will give everything, all that I have to the cause. Fight against evil, run through the pain, battle it all. This is more than a game. I am a lion and I can't be tamed. It's how it was made. This ice in my veins, run through it all. No matter the odds, I will answer a call. The enemy knocks on the door. Even the greatest among us will fall, but the greatest will get back up. So I won't back down, and I won't give up, and I will act now, and I will stand up. They know that I'm here for it all. Rise up, no matter what's in my way. Rise up, I will do what it takes. I will keep on fighting. I'll rise through it all. Rise up, no matter what's in my way. Rise up, I will do what it takes. I will keep on fighting. I'll rise through it all. Rise up.
No matter what it is you need, you'll find it at your local Par-Mar store. From gas to grocery, snacks, and everything else you always seem to run out of, Par-Mar stores has it. Need more savings? Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar Rewards Card. You won't only see our stores in your neighborhoods, you'll see us in your neighborhoods too. We are proud to be in your town and proud to be a part of the community. Come see us at Par-Mar stores, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Wilson Martino Dental. Did you know that 95% of our dentists have graduated from WVU? And many former players and WVU coaches trust Wilson Martino Dental with their oral health. The Mountaineers and Wilson Martino Dental. Yeah, we do that.